right, here we go. Let's see here. Let's see.
Marco's got the controls.
Yeah. Hold on. All right, so here we go. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to our Sunday night training session. This is Marco and Diane Rodriguez coming at you from El Paso, Texas. Before I get started, I want to thank our leadership. First of all, of course, the fabulous Carrie Williams, Maria Williams, and of course, Shawn and Michelle Poe. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you. Hopefully what we have to share with you tonight will be of some interest to you. Now, for those of you who don't know anything about Diane and I just want to take a few minutes just to explain and then maybe tell our story. And then we're going to get into a little bit about products, kind of in a general sense. And then, of course, Diane is going to share with us everything she learned at the last conference that she went to. And again, hopefully it'll be of some help to somebody out there. So Diane and I are both occupational therapists. We've been occupational therapists for over 20 years. Diane worked primarily in the school district, and I work for some of the largest healthcare corporations in America. I'm also very good with analytics. So for a good number of years, I worked on the administrative team doing a lot of statistics. And to be honest with you, I was one of those folks who did like his job. In fact, I loved my job. I loved what I did. But what I didn't love was the lack of freedom. I didn't like the idea that I was going to spend the next 50 years going home to work, home to work, home to work, back and forth. Someone else was going to control what time I woke up in the morning. Someone was going to control what time I went to work, what time I went to lunch, when I went on vacation. I didn't like that. And during that time, I did that for probably, good 13, 14 years. During that time, I have a son. He's now 21 years old. His name is Patrick. He was diagnosed on the autism spectrum. And so we started looking for things for him to help him. We didn't think that the traditional route of just the regular therapies and medication was going to work for him, just simply because he had he had very kind of a very sensitive system. So medications were really giving him a lot of side effects that we didn't want in his life. So we started looking for alternatives. We did things like neurofeedback. We also started looking at working with him with his nutrition. I guess you could say that we started biohacking with him before we even knew what biohacking was. And so that was several years ago, and the results were very, very good. He's now 21 years old, graduated from high school. He played football. I mean, whoever heard of a kid with autism playing football, right? I mean, he joined drama and did very well in drama. And so during that time, he did so well that it was his pediatrician who encouraged us to open up a practice. And we thought long and hard because, again, we were very happy with our jobs, or we thought we were happy with our jobs. And so we did. That was about 8 years ago. And we thought that by opening up a traditional business that we were going to not only were we going to help the community with therapy, but we also, Diane and I, wanted to have a little bit of time freedom. We thought that maybe by owning our own traditional business, we were going to have less stress. And can you imagine how naive we were? We also thought that maybe we'd make a little bit more money. And 5 years into it, we found that we were struggling every single month, paycheck to paycheck, trying to make payroll and so forth. And it was during that time, about 4 years ago, that I first met Patsy Caulfield, and she wanted to introduce me to LifeVantage. And at the time, we were drowning in our clinic, and I really didn't think that I had the time or the attention span to really dedicate myself to another business. So we sort of put her off for about 3 years. Now, I never said no. I just kind of put her off. And Patsy was very patient. She kept following up with us. She lives in Arizona, and we live in El Paso. So she's got family here in El Paso. And every time she'd come into El Paso, she'd send me a message saying, hey, I'd love to meet with you. And most of the time, I just kind of blew it off or just said, hey, it's just not really a good time. And she'd say, well, that's fine. Do you mind if I follow up with you the next time I'm in town? I'm like, sure, why not? Go ahead and follow up with us. And so that went on for about 3 years. Now, I think about what was it that kept Patsy going? And I think she's just the patience, and not to mention the fact that I look back at our messages and I never said no. So that's a really good lesson for people out there that, if you're a little frustrated because someone you really want to share this business with is sort of putting you off, don't fret. Okay, just be patient. We talk about being at high noon, and for 3 years we were not at high noon. But there came a time when she contacted us and wanted to share the business with us. And we thought, okay, fine, why not? Now, in all fairness, Diane knew nothing. For those 3 years, Diane knew nothing about Patsy contacting me. That was strictly 100% on me that I was putting the whole business idea off. But we did meet with Patsy, and Carrie was there, and she was there via Zoom, and so was Dr. Rodarte, and what we saw just absolutely blew our minds. Now, what was interesting to us was we saw both the product as well as the business side of it. From the product side, you know, we knew we work primarily with children with ADD, ADHD, and autism. And so we knew that there was a lot of things that these kids had in common. And what we saw from the products really resonated with us. So I'm going to share a couple slides with you that I hopefully will bring a little bit more. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find those slides. Okay, here we go. All right. So can you all see those slides? Gosh, I hope you can. Let's see here. Slideshow.
Yes, I can see them.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
I can see it.
Excellent. Okay, so now this isn't going to be about I'm only going to speak for about 10 or 15 minutes. This is not going to necessarily be on autism, but I want to share with you what we saw in the business. And we know that currently there's about 1 in 59 children that are diagnosed in the autism spectrum. And if you look back in 2004, it was 1 in 166. So the ratio, the number of children diagnosed with autism is going up dramatically. And that's only in 14 years. If it's gone up that much in 14 years, I can't even imagine what it's going to be in the next 10 years. So we started looking at that. We started looking at things like the commonalities with children with autism. If you look in the top right, 78%, and then under that is 80% of children with autism have mitochondrial dysfunction. If you look at the top left of the screen, there's evidence linking oxidative stress, mitochondrial dysfunction, and inflammation in the brain with children that are on the autism spectrum. That really spoke to me when I started learning more about these products. Now, for those of you, let's see here. We started looking at mitochondrial dysfunction and autism. Look at that. There are 230 studies linking mitochondrial dysfunction and autism. We started looking at oxidative stress and ADHD. Look at that, 103 studies on that. We started looking at oxidative stress and autism, 464 studies, oxidative stress and autism. We know that oxidative stress, or that there's several things in common with these kids that have autism. Mitochondrial dysfunction, right? Higher levels of oxidative stress, low glutathione levels, inflammation in the brain, and poor gut health. Now, typically, most of our kids were on medications, one of these 4 types of medications, either the SSRIs, which are commonly given for anxiety, depression, or OCD, antipsychotics like risperidone or clonidine, anticonvulsants, and stimulants. Those are the types of medications that are being given to children with autism. And in all the studies that I've looked at, there is no evidence that's linking in either medications or therapy. And remember, we are therapists, but there is no evidence linking these medications or this therapy that has any direct impact on mitochondrial biogenesis, nor in the reduction of oxidative stress. So we were looking for something, we just didn't know what we were looking for. We started looking at, for example, that led me to just really start doing some research on mitochondrial dysfunction. And according to PubMed.gov, which is our national medical library, at the time I took this picture, there's over 40,000 studies on mitochondrial dysfunction alone. Now that equates to billions of dollars that are being spent to study mitochondrial dysfunction. And yet, if you talk to the average person, they know nothing about mitochondrial dysfunction. Most of them don't even know what the mitochondria are. If you look at mitochondrial dysfunction in PubMed.gov and cancer, look at that, 4,792 studies on linking mitochondrial dysfunction and cancer. We started looking at, for example, fibromyalgia, look at that, 41 studies, diabetes, 3,927 studies, over 200,000 studies in PubMed.gov on oxidative stress alone. Again, hundreds of billions of dollars that are being spent to study oxidative stress, and yet the average person knows nothing about it. And I dare say that there's a lot of physicians that don't understand what oxidative stress is either. So, oxidative stress, for example, let's see here. I don't know if I went over this or not. Oxidative stress in cancer, over 24,000 studies. Oxidative stress in diabetes, 18,000 studies. Parkinson's, over 3,000 studies. Arthritis, 800 studies. Almost 1,000 studies on multiple sclerosis. The reason why I'm going through all of this is because you really need to know what you have your hands on. This has been studied by universities from around the world, from LSU, the American Heart Association, and most of you, if you're doing your own presentations or you've seen the presentation, you already know this. So if anything, I want to make sure that I just solidify, nothing in particular that you don't already know, but just solidify what you have your hands on. Of course, everyone knows about the study that was done by Biogen. It's a pharmaceutical company that came up with a synthetic version of NRF2 for the treatment of multiple sclerosis. Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most potent inducer and therefore maybe the most suited as a therapeutic strategy. Tecfidera, which is the medication, the BG12, is over $50,000 a year. One bottle of Protandim is $41 a month. I mean, for us, and when we looked at this, that was a no-brainer. Other studies that are linked in PubMed.gov, the Mayo Clinic is studying this. There was an article in there about a gentleman with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Now, stage 4 pancreatic cancer, there is no cure for it currently. It's a 3 to 6 month death sentence. And so the study talks about this particular gentleman. And one of the things that it mentioned that he was taking was Protandim. Now, at no point would I ever try to imply that Protandim or any of the products treats, cures, or mitigates disease. Not at all. What I'm trying to say is that if you know what you have your hands on, go out there and search for it. Search for what you have, for what the studies are out there. It will absolutely blow your mind. Some other things here, just some more other studies here in PubMed.gov. Okay, of course, Washington State University, everybody's heard this before, NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Now, we have a distributor in our organization that actually read the entire study. My hat's off to Mary Hardesty for doing that. And she came back with just some unbelievable findings that she discovered while she was reading it. If you look down here underneath it, a few lines down, talking about liver damage, HIV, AIDS, epilepsy. Those are all things that Washington State University studied with on NRF2 and its effect on those areas. So for us, we saw this as a no-brainer. We knew that the products were second to none. So let me get back here to back to the screen, right? Let's see here. Hold on.
Why is everything black?
Stop.
You're not.
Should be muted. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to. Oh, here we go. Stop sharing. All right, are we back? Okay, sorry about that. We're kind of rookies. We're only Pro 5. We're kind of new at this, so I apologize for that. So anyhow, so we saw the business, we saw the product side of it, which was a no-brainer. Now, we also looked at the business side of it. As traditional business owners, we know what it's like to work our, what's off, trying to run a traditional business, having to deal with all the red tape and all of the issues that go along with taxes and employee issues and unemployment taxes and all that stuff. So we looked at all that, and we saw that this business didn't have any of that. It had all of the benefits, but none of the drawbacks. The other thing that we looked at in terms of the business is, Diane and I, we've always had an idea before LifeVantage that we really wanted to help people. We put several people through college. Don't call me, I'm not putting you through college. But we put several people through college so that they could work. We had the idea that at some point in time, we might open up a second or a third clinic. And so we started 3 different training sessions, leadership training within our clinic to just really try to help people to become better leaders, with the idea that at some point in time, some of our staff, we might put them in charge of their own clinic and sort of franchise out the business to them. But the problem is that the cost of that was just way too expensive. And we realized that most of our staff would never have the opportunity to start their own business. And when we saw the LifeVantage business, we looked at it and we knew that this was an opportunity for anyone to start their own business. And so we shared this with a lot of our staff as well, and several of them decided to jump on board with us. And it's great because now they're not our employees anymore. Now they are our business partners. So we really looked at that. And so what I want to do now is I want to turn this over to Diane, because there's several aspects of the business that we get really excited about. And the one we want to talk about tonight is really more about promotion, right? Because I mean, you went to a conference recently, and you want to share with us what you learned, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my beautiful wife, Diane, and she's got some really, really interesting stuff to share with you. And here we go.
Thank you so much, Marco. Could you hit the slideshow?
Okay, here we go.
Thank
Slideshow
you.
and
From the beginning, please. Okay, yeah, so guys, hi, I'm Diane Rodriguez. Go ahead and go to the next screen, because that's just that,
Okay.
sorry. I have had the honor and the privilege to attend my first Women's in Network Marketing Conference. It was so exciting. I just was really thrilled because this was a little different than I've been used to. This is my first time in network marketing. I've only done this for 1 year. So all the events that I have gone to in the past have been with LifeVantage. So I didn't really know anything else. So I didn't really know what to expect. But when I got there, I was completely amazed, blown away. There were women from all different types of companies, all different, they had different products. But one of the cool things is that there was no marketing, there was no recruiting, there were no promotions going on for your own company. It was just all of us there learning about the industry. So when you're focused on the industry and you're like, when we go to a LifeVantage conference, you spend a lot of time learning about the products and the science as well. So this gave us the opportunity to really, really just focus on the industry. And over again, one of the repetitive statements was that promotion of events. Eric Rohr even gave this quote there. It's the highest paid skill we can develop in network marketing is promoting events. So a lot of this information that I'm going to share with you, I'm going to go through it quickly. I want to be respectful of everybody's time this evening. I just want to thank Eric and Marina Wari. Wow, what an amazing event. These other ladies were from different companies, but just powerhouses in the industry. Angel Fletcher, Nicola Smith-Jackson, and Jessie Lee Ward. Wow, they gave presentations on how to promote events. So, okay, also, so why is it so important? Why do you hear from your upline, your leaders, your mentors, get to events, go to events? Why is this so important in their minds? Why do they just keep indicating that this is so important? Well, Forbes magazine reports on the power of in-person events. They talk about social proof. You get there with everybody else. You're seeing that you are not the only one who feels this way. Look at all of these other people. It helps you to let go of old beliefs. Maybe that's about making money. Maybe that's about what you can do about your health. Maybe it's just about what you feel about yourself. It allows you to broaden your vision. Maybe you came in there with a very small vision, and leaving one of these events, oh my gosh, that vision is now huge. It validates your decision of why you joined this to begin with. It gives you a sense of community, connection. Everybody, it's in our innate human nature to want to connect to people. And guess what? A little bit of swagger even begins to start. You gain a little bit of confidence. You go out there thinking empowered that you can do this. You find your personal power and drive. Events can do for individuals on your team what we can't offer them. I can't connect with every single person on my team. I'm not a 60-year-old male that's, had these life events happen to him, or a young teenager, different things, different people in your organization, but they may see somebody up on stage or meet somebody there that they really connect with. You can't do epic things with a basic attitude. So how do we get people to invest in attending these destination events? A destination events obviously is one that you have to travel to, one you have to leave. It takes more time, it takes more money, it takes more effort, more dedication. So starting with promotion. Promotion is telling a story to raise the importance. You're going to explain to your team that by attending events, we're going to surround ourselves with those who have gone before us. They've had failures and disappointments and tragedies. These are the ones that have persevered. They've been knocked down. They stood back up. They worked through it. They succeeded. These individuals are there to show you the way, uplift, empower, and encourage you. They're there to show you what's actually possible. And for those of you who may have been in the business for a while, it's your opportunity to refocus, recommit to your future. Gather strength, go back home and do what it takes. Get out there, move your business forward. I know so many times Marco and I, we're leaving an event, we're on the airport and we're like, we are just like on fire. We're like scheduling things. We just got all these ideas going through our head. You need that event to event. So these are the opportunity for people to gain strength from different presenters, receive that increased validation, why you got started to begin with. Leaders are born at events. These events shorten your learning curve. All the information, all of this knowledge that's packed into these few days is going to set your business ahead of the game. It's going to take team members who maybe were just what we call spectators and turn them into active participants. This gives you the chance to lock arms with other leaders and connect to others. So going back to storytelling a little bit. When you're telling your story, you want to speak the truth from your heart. Keep it short, but you got about 6 seconds to grab someone and keep somebody's attention. You could pique somebody's interest with a quote, a question, or a really cool or interesting fact. Use your personality. Think about when you went back to telling a story from your childhood, how dad got on the side of the bed and he tried to, use different words to for each little piggy, or the 3 pigs, all those stories. Be animated. Know your audience. Make a connection. Every single person is different. I can't talk to one person the same way I can talk to another because we don't have the same experiences or background. But find out about that person and talk and connect with them. Appeal to their emotions. Remember, you want to make a connection. People are bonding through shared experiences, not just good ones, but bad ones as well. They want to hear that other people have failed, suffered, had tried, and then the triumphs will come. Use a connecting language with those people. So I've got an example that I wanted to read. You want to go back to the screen? I don't know how to do that, but you can try. Okay.
Here?
Oh, no, I wanted you to go back to take down the stop sharing.
Oh.
On that thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the really cool things that went on when I was there, we're talking about promoting. This was an example that one of the ladies who was presenting showed us. This is her promotion story on the most powerful women in network marketing conference that we just attended. This is what she posted on her business leadership Facebook page. So I've got it right here, so I'll read it to you. This is kind of what she said, and I thought it was really excellent in giving you an example. This also has a picture of Wonder Woman on the side. So this is what she says. At this most powerful women's event, you are in a room of Wonder Women who are handing out capes. You need to be there. You will find your personal power to take you to the top. The most powerful women in network marketing event is one of the most game-changing events. Skill-focused, yet personal power ignites. She said, as she was a school teacher, my mind could only see a $50,000 vision for my life. It took going to events to take me out of that hometown reality. She said, I needed to be around people that had a bigger vision than me so that I could start dreaming. So back to the slides.
Powerful.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Thanks
so
for letting me show it.
All right.
Okay.
Let's get back to.
Oh, I was after examples. Sorry, guys. Up, right there. One more. Okay, great. All right, so let's cover a little bit of the objections that we often run across when we are promoting our events. One of them, I don't have time. Okay, guys, we know in reality people are very busy. But remember, like anything else in life, if it becomes a priority, you're gonna find a way. Okay, so keep that in mind. We need to make a connection with them. What is in it for them? So you have to, when you're trying to show them how to make the time, that it is important for them, you need to find that connection. In the book Go Pro, it states that a professional is not going to buy that. They're going to work with that person and help them find resolutions to those barriers. The next big objection that we often run across is, I can't afford it. This is one quote that was said there, and I love it. If you can't afford to go, you can't afford not to go. So you got to set a motion and plan to earn it. How much volume do you need in a week, a month? What kind of bonuses are you expecting? What do you need? So for example, if you've planned out the trip and it's going to cost you about $800, challenge yourself to earn it. What income producing activities do you need to get on that calendar? Start with that. And here's a mindset that we need to get into. Stop saying I can't afford it, but how am I going to afford it? It is proven that if you get to these events, your growth, momentum, and income is going to surpass anything that you've invested. Okay, so a little bit of, let's just not, when we're promoting events, let's just don't make announcements. We're actually going to promote. So what is the differences between announcements and promoting? An announcement, you make a general statement, you provide data, time, location, you're going to inform them through writing, text, or posting, or you're going to mention and tell about what's going on. But when you're promoting the event, you're going to encourage attendance with an action, a call to action. You're going to create excitement. You're going to set the expectations to solve a problem or feed a meal. If you know one particular person is really struggling in an aspect, you're going to tell them, you know what? I know for sure that they're already going to be planning a breakout session just about that topic. And ultimately, it's going to build you a big team. So this is really great. Eric already talked about his rhythm of the calendar. He is building his business. Well, he built his business. He wants us to build our businesses event to event. As soon as one event is over, you're starting to plan for the next one. So what is your next event? Is it a whole meeting, a training with your team, a call? Is it LVA? Is it a big corporate event? Or is it a generic event like the GoPro? You can start your calendar year as May right now. Plan out product campaigns. What is the holidays? Plan special events. But never start promoting on the day of the event. You want at least 5 touches. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure that every event, each person has been exposed to that information at least 5 times. We call it 5 touches. Here's a great quote, guys. You come alone, you learn a lot. You come with your team, you earn a lot. Isn't that great?
I love that.
That's great.
That's
great.
Awesome. I love that.
Okay, so how do you promote? We're going to edify. When I was first started looking at and learning about edification, I always thought of it more as towards one person towards another, but it's not. You're also telling a compelling story or giving a testimony about, it could be about your company, about your services. It could be about people or the speakers at that event. It could be about the event in general or even the location of the event. Okay, sometimes, guys, it's not just about people hearing information from you all of the time, over and over again. Sometimes it requires hearing the same exact message, but from different voices. It's so important. Your experience, you want to share pictures, videos from things from the past. Talk about what's going to happen at the next event, what's to come. Talk about stories and testimonials that you've heard from people that you met. They're never going to get that if you're not there. There's no way that I can share and remember every detail that I felt and that I learned while I was there. We want to host team calls prior to the event. You can do Facebook Lives and interviews. I mean, social media right now, training is just, that's a whole nother session. We want to you need to create excitement, positive emotion, anticipation, give it a sense of urgency. You've got early bird prices that are offered. You've got deadlines. You want people to connect with those emotions. Okay, guys, you really need to, I can't stress this enough. Again, know your audience. We talked about this a little bit. Remember, it's about them, not you. You're going to build that connection based on tools that they like. So say if it's a young person who you know is on Facebook all day long or social media all day long, how do you think you're going to get a hold of that guy? You're going to use that avenue. You're going to use that tool. Emails. I met a lady. She can't even read a text message. She says that if the font is too small on her phone, she only emails. Blogs, text messages. Some people phone calls. Some people don't even answer their calls. You need to know what they prefer. Speak to their personalities. This is great. Everybody has a different personality type. And here's a few examples of what I mean by that. Okay, so you take somebody who is like the life of the party, they love to socialize. You want to say something like, anyone in the company is going to be there. Okay, another one, somebody who's very intimate, really loves personal relationships. You could say something like, you know what, I really can't wait to get to know you better at the event. Then you got the guy who's just an information junkie. He just wants to know everything. You could say something like this to him. You'll have access to the best training, information, and systems that you can't get anywhere else, okay? Absolutely. Or you got your numbers money guy or gal, right? And you're gonna say, Okay, you will be able to measure growth in your business dollar for dollar against those who don't attend. So those are just like some examples of changing your language according to your audience.
I'm the last two.
Oh, I know. Okay, some promotion ideas. We're almost finished, guys, here. Thank you so much. Giveaways, give an opportunity to earn event tickets. Maybe for a new distributor, you can earn a ticket by performing some income producing activities. You can earn money. So if you're the leader and you're trying to get a whole team there, you may put out a contest or say everybody who we're going to have an enrolling campaign. Whoever enrolls the most new people in the next 3 weeks is going to earn a free ticket. You could have them completing their training and orientation. Marco set up his own training system on Facebook. He can see who's gone through all of those units. Maybe you can give somebody a ticket who went through all of those units on the training. New customers on subscriptions. Who gets the most new customers? You could win another targeted campaign or contest. Who rank advancing? All these are ideas. And then what you can do to motivate each other, you post those names of others in your group who are already attending and have their tickets and are going. Awesome. Okay, so our next event, LifeVantage Academy, May 18th. All right, we need to start promoting. It's not too late. We're gonna announce and promote. Did you guys know that this is our 10-year ribbon? That May 18th is the 10-year ribbon cutting anniversary. I know we're going to be celebrating a big time in Kansas City, but the May 18th was the 10-year ribbon cutting ceremony. Now remember, these are at home or do you have to travel? Some people have a LifeVantage Academy in their hometowns. Many of us do not. So get with your teams. Arrange carpools, offer to room together with other people to keep those costs down. Again, campaigns for free tickets. Find out who's speaking, start edifying and promoting that speaker. New distributors, really must get them there. It is so important. And of course, we always, always, always lead by example. We need to be there. So these are just some fun pictures that Marco and I have taken of some of the events that we've gone. Look, who's who? Look at all these amazing people that nobody else would have gotten to that unless we were there. These opportunities that we had. One more. There's Miss Carrie. Carrie Williams. I just need to, and then there's the celebrity Eric Worre over there. So, I mean, just by being there, I mean, it's the most unique opportunity. Carrie is the master promoter, the master connector, and I have learned almost everything that I've done here from her. She's amazing. Thank you so much. So I know we are out of time. We went over just a little bit. So I guess we're going to close it out. All right. You want to go back to everybody? Yes. I don't know if you do.
Wow, Diane. Look, I've known this woman for many, many years. And Diane, I just got to say that over this last year, going to these events and this business has just, for both of us, it's just caused us both to grow. There's no way we'd be where we are right now. And we're not stopping yet. We have a big, big vision. Most people, it scares them. But, you know, we saw years ago, or not years ago, months ago, how everyone's promoting and talking about LifeVantage being a $1 billion company. Well, why not? Why is it not possible that somebody out there, or maybe us, could actually build a $1 billion distributorship? It's been done in the past. It can be done in the future. But the only way to really do that is really to become a master promoter. And that's not my personality type. Believe it or not, I'm an introverted personality type, but I have worked on myself and I've learned so much from going to these events. And you can literally change your life in 1 year if you're willing to invest the time and the energy, and going to these events is such a big thing. So Diane, thank you so much for taking this time to share with us what you learned at this conference. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And we're going to go ahead and sign out now. But as I always like to say, guys, remember, there is a better way to live.
Love you guys.
All right, love you guys.
Have a great night.
All right, then.
Thanks.
Awesome call. Thank you.
Woohoo! Awesome job.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.